Hello and welcome to Baby Steps in Create Studio 3 Part 28, the Bobblehead Characters. Right, I'm Tony of Tony's Tutorials and we're on version 3.4.3 of Create Studio 3. Let's go over to the new project tabs. It doesn't matter which one we click, but we can left click on either one, so let's just do that. We're in the canvas area and we want to go straight to the media folder, which is folder shape right in the top left corner there. Click on that, the left mouse button. Then we go to import media. We want to import some faces because we've got no faces there, so import them. So we need to find it, which I've already got it on here, and I'm just gonna left click and drag across all the characters that I've put on and open them up and put them on there. I might choose a different one, I don't know which one I'm going to choose yet, but I'm going to start off with the first one obviously, but I'm going to show you them in a minute. But as you can see, they've come on pretty quick because they're only images, they're not actual animations, them are just images, right? So I've got them on ready. All I need to do now is go to my studio. I'm going to backgrounds to add a background, right? All categories, left click and use the slider in that part to go to bobbleheads, and then left click on the bobbleheads, left click on the teal zigzag and drag it to the canvas, holding the left mouse button and dragging with the mouse, and then I'll release the left mouse button, click on the diagonal arrows facing opposite each other and click on that with the left mouse button to make it the right size for the canvas. Then I'm going to drag the actual element over to about 8 on the timeline, right? I'm also going to right click on it and click on lock to lock it in position, right? We don't need to do anything else with the background, it's just so you can see it better, so it looks nicer. Right, now we're going to go out to the background by left clicking on the left arrow up here in the top corner, left corner, and we're going to go to characters. So left click on that, and then we're going to go to all categories, left click on that, go to the bobbleheads, left click on that, then we're going to go to the slider, left click on that and hold, and then drag down towards where the Santa is. Now I'm going to left click on the Santa and drag that onto my canvas like that. I'm going to resize him a little bit, I want him a bit smaller, and I'm going to drag him down to this left corner. Right, to do the resizing I've clicked on the one of the circles in the corners of the actual image itself and dragged it towards the image. That way it resized it, right? Okay, and then we're going to go back to the slider, drag that down again by holding the left mouse button, and we're going to go down to a different character image a bit further down here, and we're going to go to this summer guy, and we're going to left click, drag it onto the scene, release the left mouse button, and I'm going to resize that down a bit as well and drag it to the right bottom corner. Right, okay, so we've got two characters, a summer guy and Father Christmas or Santa Claus. Right, it doesn't matter, they've got to have heads on anyway, so I could have a female's head on either one of them, it don't matter at the moment. This is just for having a body, so it doesn't matter what body it is. I'm just going to use whichever heads that I've got here. Right, so I'll go back to the media folder, pick on my first head, which is a woman anyway, so it don't matter. Just click on it, and I'm just going to make this smaller a little bit so that it nearly fits that particular one. So I'm going to put it on the Santa Claus. Oh, it's Mrs. Santa Claus, not Mr. Santa Claus, Miss Santa Claus, or Mrs. Santa Claus maybe. Right, so there you go. That's the American Indian Santa Claus. woman. Right, and I'm going to change the wave to a different one for the Santa, because that doesn't work for that one. I need gift or something like that, something bigger. I'm going to stretch that across to about there. I think it was somewhere like there. About there. Yeah. And then I'm going to stretch her face across to be the same length. And then I want to left click and hold control and right click and group. So I've grouped the Santa with that head. So I'm just going to change the group name by right clicking on it and put rename and change that to Santa. So we know that group is the Santa group, right? That makes sense, doesn't it? And I'm going to open the group, and because I'm in there now, I'm just going to click on the head, which is what I've done. That's just moved over. I didn't want it to move over, so I'm just going to click that back on top. Right, I'm going to use the anchor point and click on bottom middle, and then you see the purple circle there. I'm just going to left click on that and move it to exactly where the point is of the middle of her chin, like that. Right, so that'll be okay. So that's done that. Then I want to go back onto her head again, click on motion and click on loop, click on rotation and swing. Right, and that's just left mouse clicks for all of those. Then I'm going to change the loops to about 6 because of the length of the images there, 6 and a bit, so we can have 6 loops on it. That should be alright. I think that's everything done on that. All I need to do now is change that swing length to almost the full length of the head, right? So that it'll rock nice and steady. If you leave it short, it will go really fast and it'll be very short time of a second. So that's why we move the actual animation to a long time on there. Right, so let's just see how that looks. Go back to the beginning, and there you go. That looks not too bad at all. Okay, then we just need to what happened there? All come off together, then hang on, let's just check in there a minute. I might have got that the Santa's a little bit faster than that. And I want to click on the Santa. Hang on a minute. I want to make sure them are dead on. They ain't. That one's bigger slightly. So we'll just take that back. And they come off together. That's it. That's alright then. Okay, so let's try that again and have a look at that. Okay, that's fine. Now we can, at the end we can fade that out anyway, so it doesn't matter about that. Just click on the Santa and click on motion out, and then just put fade out, and that'll fade out from there. So let's just have a look, see what happens now, and the character will fade away. Yeah, right. What you should also do is with the Santa, with the character, if you want the head to be the same size for all the characters, you do change the scaling to contain, right? So when you want to change it, say if you want to change the character to a different character, so click on that, it says replace that, so we replace it with a different one. It's more or less in the same size, but you still got to change the position a little bit. So what we need to do then, we'd have to go make sure the anchor point was on her chin, then move it, the whole character to the right side place, and then because it's on the chin, that should be okay, and you should still be able to use the animation, so that'll be okay. We go back to the main, we see it's got a different character on it. Let's go back. and we see it still does the same animation. Okay, got a different head on, but you know, there you go. And you can adjust it inside the thingy anyway. Let's go on to the summer guy and put a character on there. Let's bring him up a bit. I don't like it being that small actually. I had the Santa small because of that character's head there. And that, right, so let's go for somebody like Will Smith. Put Will Smith on here. Let's get his head on. So let's just do that. Now I didn't do anything with this one. This would come like that. So I'm just going to knock it down a little bit. Maybe a little bit more than that. It's got a big head anyway, ain't he? There you go. That's quite big, but that'll do. Right, so we do it there. So we've got Will Smith on there. It's still a big head though, but never mind. Can't do nothing about that. I've done it quite small, so let's just I want it so they can see a little bit of neck there like that, you know. So right, so we've done that, and I want to put the anchor on first, so make sure I get him in the right place with his anchor in his chin like that. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to group them two together like that, and then I'm going to change that name by right clicking and rename and change it to summer guy. So we know it's a summer guy, right? So we know that's the group for the summer guy. Okay, so there he is. What we need to do now is click on his face and make sure we get the right motion for him. Loop, rotation, swing, and change the loops to whatever you want according to the length of the character. Now as you can see, I hadn't changed the head, the play head, to the beginning. The swing has come halfway through. So what will happen is it'll do suddenly to that all of a sudden. Let me just show you. If I go back to the main screen, you'll see what happens now, because I didn't do it right then. You see, it looks so funny. Anyway, let's get back onto it and show you how to fix the problem. Right, it's not hard anyway. All we need to do is just drag it either side to the full length of what we want, and it should be alright. Okay, more or less a full length. So let's just try it now. There you go. That's pretty good, isn't it? But that's how to fix them. Now say you wanted to change the character's head on this one to a different head. Let's replace it to, oh no, let's say this guy. As you can see, it's replaced him, but the same thing has happened where the head is not in the right place. So let's just click on that particular thing and move his head across like that. Now what we need to do is move the anchor point. So we go to the position settings, anchor point, and as you can see his anchor point's in the wrong place, so we need it there. It's always about the anchor point with these things, so make sure you get it in the right place. Okay, and that should be okay now. So just back to main and let's just try it. There you go, it's still doing the same rotation. His head could have done with coming that way a little bit, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, that's how simple it is to deal with. There are things you got to watch, like say for example, if you got a character that's got bad graphics quality, so we get this one and replace it with this one for example. As you can see, something's happened there with that. We go into the group. Why is that gone like that? Let's just, that won't happen. Can't fix it, so we need to replace that. As you can see, so we'd have to get rid of that one and put that character back in like that. Then we'd have to squeeze it down a little bit to get his hat in, and we'd have to do the anchor point. Put the anchor point on his chin like that. Right, and we'd also, because we've had to replace the head, we'd have to stretch that as well to the right length, and we'd have to redo the motion as well. So you'd have to go back to motion, loop, rotation, swing, and loops to 6. Yeah, you could do that, and as I've done before, you need to stretch it out over the length of the head, more or less most of it. Just leave a little gap there so you can click on the head without having to click on that, because if you click on the animation, it usually says replace or remove, delete animation or something like that. So to save you from doing that, don't take it all away, just leave a little gap so you can click on that part, and it won't say that, then it'll give you different options, right? So that's just a little tip, right? So let's just have a look at that, see how that goes now. There you go. If you find the rotated in a different area, you know why. It's the anchor point. The anchor point is important, right? Hope this has been useful to you. I have got one other thing I want to show you before we go. Let's just go back on it, and there's another character further down here with really long hair, and I'm going to replace that one with that just to show you. As you can see, I missed a bit of stuff on there, but never mind. I'm just going to resize the head in a moment. I need to get into the group. I need to move a head down there like that. All I have to do is reposition her head, change the anchor point to where she is supposed to be moving from, right? So that should be okay, and that's all you need to do with it. But you know, you got to make sure you watch what you're doing. Obviously I need to cut them bits out there. I missed them somehow. I don't know how I missed them, but I will show you how to do some heads anyway using image editor later, just to show you how to cut them and how to make them so they're more or less right for what you need to do to make this particular bobbleheads. And I hope this has been useful, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and if you did, please like and subscribe to Tony's Tutorials, and thank you very much for watching. Thank you.